Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Wretch. By the way guys, I have very unpopular opinion on her, so I believe you will definitely enjoy this video. By the way guys, please note the date when this review has been recorded, because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Wretch to the test. Wretch guys was released on the 7th of March 2017. She was an original diamond, she was never a gold, hence she doesn't have price in the old store. You could always get her in specific packs. So let us check why. Her attack is 58,685, which ranks 12th in the game. The health is 119,232, which is the 11th highest in MK Mobile. The toughness is 50,085, the 9th highest in the game. And the recovery is just 42,525, which ranks 20th in MK Mobile, but as we know guys, recovery is not that important. And the power generation is 120%. So Wretch doesn't really have the best stats in the game, but at the same time she is definitely not bad. So she gets 21.9 out of 28 possible points. Special 1 of the guys is called Extreme Might, and by the way this ability is both great and terrible. Let me explain to you why. First of all, it is 100% unblockable, the enemy cannot block it, and it has poisonous debuff, which is always good. However, you have to be very close to the enemy in order to make sure that the ability will connect, because after all it is a grapple, and the unfortunate part is that most of the times when Wretch uses her combo ender, she's going to send an enemy to a distance which is impossible for her and her special 1 to connect. So you have to keep that in mind guys. Wretch special 1 doesn't really work pretty well with her combo enders. In addition, the special attack is lethal, it has 4 mini hits and the multi-tap circle as minigame, which in my opinion is the easiest minigame in MK Mobile. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the special attack is 19,365, which ranks 19th in the game, and the maximum damage is 38,731, which ranks 15th. Once again, the special attack is completely unblockable, it has poison as debuff, it cannot be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 4 mini hits, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for her special 1, Devora is going to get the impressive 9.9 out of 13 possible points. Special 2 Devora guys is called Bug Bomb, and here it is what you need to know about it. First, it can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has Snare as debuff, which is extremely useful. It can be cast from distance, you shouldn't be scared about casting it if you are away from the enemy. The special attack is lethal, it consists of 4 mini hits, and it has again the multi-tap circle as minigame. It seems that Wretch guys has pretty easy minigames, which is very nice. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 48,414, which is the 16th highest in the game, and the maximum damage is 96,829, which ranks 12th in the game. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has Snare as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 4 mini hits, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for her special 2, Devora is going to get the solid 14 out of 19 possible points. Like any other Devora in the game guys, this Devora is not an exception. Her X-ray is called Stick Around, it looks disgusting, it has Curses debuff, which is not the best debuff in terms of being on an X-ray, but it is what it is, and of course the good news is that it can be cast from distance. When it comes to damage, the damage of the X-ray is 118,132 and it ranks 17th in the game. Once again, the ability has Curse as debuff and it can be cast from distance. So for her X-ray, Devora will get 3 points sharp, and the total amount of points she gets for her special attack adds up to 27 out of 36 possible. The basic attacks of Devora, guys, are not her greatest weapon, to be honest. Now I have several problems with them. The first one is, of course, they're not pretty fast. She has mediocre speed, she's not terribly slow, but she's not fast, definitely. However, the problem is the chaining, guys. First of all, she has terrible recovery speed. At some points it seems that she's bowing to the enemy, and while she's bowing, she is open to all possible counterattacks in the world. And of course she doesn't push enemies back if they're blocking, which is another problem. But apart from all these imperfections, guys, there is another thing which I hate about Devora's basic attacks, and it is the fact that they don't really help you to hit her special one, because in a lot of situations, after you hit her basic attack combo, the enemy will be away from you, and if you attempt special one immediately after, you will miss. So what you have to do is you need to wait for the enemy to approach you and then unleash special one. And this is really bad. So in the beginning I wanted to give her more points, but her basics are really not that great, and the fact that they don't work well with her special one is really annoying. So final verdict on the basic attacks of Devora, guys, is going to be 5.5 out of 10 possible points. The passive of Devora, guys, is called Bringer of Blight, and here it is what it does. When Devora defeats an opponent, she applies a high damage, infinite poison damage overtime effect to the opposing team. Her teammates do plus 30% critical damage against poisoned opponents. Now, there are similar passives in the game. For example, classic Melina has such type of passive when something happens when she kills an enemy. Also, Kenshi, Elder God Kenshi, has similar passive, MK11 Scarlet, and so on and so on. So this is not the only passive in the game which has effect if this character successfully defeats another enemy character. However, how good is it actually? Now, to be honest, Infinite Poison is okay, but it is not something amazing. It won't really let you finish the battle that much faster, and the 30% critical damage is pretty nice. In certain situations it can help you finish the battle faster, so those two things combined work pretty nice. And of course we shouldn't forget that this counters a lot of characters, such as for example Ravenous Melina and many other characters who rely on regeneration. So I'm going to be very concise here, guys. To be honest, this passive is not bad, but it is nothing special. Definitely I'll take it anytime. And the thing is, for example, I believe that Elder God's Kenshi passive, the effect it does if you kill an opponent, is better. However, you have to keep in mind that Elder God Kenshi should use his special attack in order to trigger his passive, while Devora can do it any way possible. And the thing is, she has Snare on her special too, which makes it easier for her to trigger her passive, even though I'd say that Elder God Kenshi's passive has a slight edge. And that is the reason I'll be giving just 17 points to Devora's passive. I always compared this passive to Elder God Kenshi's passive, and I still believe that Elder God Kenshi's passive is slightly better, despite the annoying fact that you need to use your special attacks in order to trigger it. Anyways, Devora's passive is pretty nice, guys, so it deserves 17 points. She is just an outward character, so she gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, what is the final verdict of Wretch Devora? You know, she's that character that nobody likes, I'm totally aware of that, but my opinion of her, as I mentioned before, is very unpopular because I kind of like her and I consider her as a good character. Now, definitely she's not as good as Juggernaut, such as for example classic Liu Kang, MK11 Scorpion, MK11 Sub-Zero, Hellspawn, Scorpion, Ravenous Melina, definitely she is not that good, but this doesn't mean that she is a bad character. She has decent stats, pretty nice special attack with pretty useful debuffs on them. She also has useful passive and not that great basic attacks. And to be honest, she fits perfectly in so many poison focused teams. She has great synergy with Ravenous Melina, she has great synergy with Classic Reptile, and she also works pretty good with the Dead Kitana. So long story short, I consider Wretch Devourer as a good character. Definitely there are better characters, so she's not tier S diamond character, but she's not definitely an F at the same time. So I'll be giving her 1.5 out of my 3 subjective points, and with them she's going to score 73.9, and we can label her as a great character. In fact, she ranked 17th on our current standings, just above Leatherface and just below Combat Cup Johnny Cage. So Wretch Devourer, final verdict, great character. To be honest, almost anytime when I play Devourer I use her as my starter, because first she's almost in all cases the most expendable character in my team. This doesn't mean that she's useless, but I'm okay to lose her in comparison to lose somebody else, for example Classic Reptile or Ravenous Melina. And of course the Devastator really boosts the damage of her special one, and you know that her special one is unblockable. When it comes to the character that she counters, she's pretty good against characters who rely on regeneration, such as, for example, Ravenous Melina, such as the Dead Kitana, and so on and so on. And of course, she's badly countered by characters who thrive on poison, such as, for example, Classic Liu Kang, such as, for example, MK11 Jade. Those are characters that really counter Wretch Devourer. And of course, a difficult matchup for her will be also Dark Raiden. When it comes to the items, guys, because I usually play Devourer as an opener, I give her always Ice Bomb so that she can resist the incoming stun from Circle of Shadow Liu Kang. I also give her Devastator. The armor doesn't matter, you can go with Living Dead, you can go with Shao Kahn Helmet, it doesn't really matter, it totally depends on you. As an accessory, I usually give her Sindel's Ring. So I prefer to play Devourer in a more tanky way, because usually when she's in my team I have some other assassins or main damage dealers. Okay guys, we got to the teams. Now there are 3 really great teams with Devourer. The first one, it is kind of a troll team, but it is not a real troll team because those 3 girls have pretty good synergy. I already played this team for you. It is Circle of Shadow Kitana, Wretch Devourer and Classic Melina, because whatever happens in the fight, whoever of the enemy you kill, there will be something good happening for you, because you know the Red Kitana, Circle of Shadow Kitana enslaves people, Wretch Devourer poisons people, and Classic Melina heals your other 2 girls. The next team, probably her best team, is Wretch Devourer, Classic Reptile and Ravenous Melina. This team is all about poison. Basically you kill one of the enemy and it is game over. Melina just deals insane damage in this team, and the same applies for Classic Reptile. And the third team is kind of a variation of the second one. For example, you can replace Melina with Dead Kitana, or you can replace Reptile with Dead Kitana. Long story short, again, this team feels very strong because you have poison and you have regeneration. So that's pretty awesome. And by the way, if you don't have, for example, Dead Kitana, you can use Mournful Kitana so that you can eventually get to an X-ray of Classic Reptile so that you can again start regenerating. Okay guys, Wretch Devourer, what do you think of her? Do you like her? Do you dislike her? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, she scored 73.9 and we label her as a great character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen, and if you want to know which is the next on-demand review coming next week, you can find the list in the description of this video. See you next time guys, take care and stay safe.
Inferior human.
Well done.
Perfect.